This is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and today I've been playing with a couple of pens that I have inked up with one of my favorite everyday all-purpose inks, Diamine Oxford Blue. Now, I've had this for quite a while in cartridge form. These are standard international cartridges, and I got these quite a while back, but many of my pens nowadays have their own proprietary or use their own proprietary cartridges and converters, like my Sailors and Pilot, Platinum, Lamy. These are some of my most used pens, and I found that I wasn't using Oxford Blue. It was just inconvenient. I tried using an ink syringe, puncturing the cartridge and using an ink syringe to get it into a couple of pens, but that wasn't ideal because the converters for Sailor and my the Con 40 that's in my Pilot don't hold an entire cartridge worth of ink. So I went ahead and got a bottle, and it will go to good use. Now, I don't remember why I had this Sailor inked up. Usually I use Sailor Gentle Black in this one, but a dark blue, either Diatramentus Sherlock Holmes or Oxford Blue, is one of my favorite inks to use in my Pilot Prera with a fine nib. Oh, I remember. I had this inked up. I was trying different pen and ink combinations to use for daily journaling. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple writing samples with these, and I had such success smoothing the nib on my Sailor 1911 with a medium nib that I'm going to do a little nib smoothing on this fine Sailor nib today also. My Prera is one of the smoothest, maybe the smoothest and finest nibs that I have on a fountain pen. When I first opened this pen up in the mail and wrote with it for the first time, I was like, wow, this thing writes like a needle, and it is smooth. Now, this is ink that came out of this new bottle. When I was looking for a blue ink, what caught my eye about Oxford Blue when I compared it to other blue inks, it just looks so saturated and velvety. And it's a nice alternative to using a black ink. And so that's the Pilot Prera. Let me give the Sailor a try now before I run it over the micro mesh. All right, now on this paper, it's not too bad, but I notice on some papers that I use, this tends to pick up paper fibers. And actually, hold on, let me try this one more time. Yeah, not scratchy at all. There's just the slightest bit of friction. Yeah, that's quite a bit smoother. And it may be, let me do a little wetness test here too. That will have an effect on it. How smooth it feels will depend on how much ink it's putting down. Yeah, that's quite a bit, the Prera is quite a bit wetter. I'm just going to run this over this Sailor fine nib. I'm going to run it over the micro mesh just a few passes. Even on paper like this that's fairly smooth, over time this fine nib will pick up paper fibers, and then all of a sudden it's like you're writing with a felt tip marker that's a used felt tip marker. It's just putting down blobs of ink. Now, with this fine nib, I'm not going to do very much smoothing at all. I don't want to overdo it. Let me compare it to yeah, it feels a lot more like the Pilot now. Let me try this one more time. Oh yeah. That is quite a bit smoother. Yeah. When you're placing an order at Goulet, grabbing a sheet of this micro mesh really is well worth it. It has, I've had some pens that came in that were legitimately scratchy, that I had to do a little bending, a little nib or tine realignment, and then they were still, even after that, were very scratchy, and run it over the micro mesh a few times, and it just does it quite a bit of good. Let's see. So this was Oxford Blue. Wow, that feels quite a bit better. All right. Now, Oxford Blue is probably not going to stay in this pen, but I'm starting to reach a point where I'm finding what inks suit the jobs that I have for my different pens. This one's a note taker that I have paired up with my passport size traveler's notebook, and it's so handy. It's a snap cap, push to post, such a smooth writer, writes very fine, so it works well paired with those smaller notebooks for quick notes. This is just a one of my favorite all-time pens. Actually, both of these are. With this one having the threaded cap, it's a little more suited to longer form writing, more taking notes in a meeting or notes at church. It would be good for journaling. But running that over the micro mesh, yeah, that did that a world of good. All right, if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.